Hello, hello, welcome back to another episode of I, Captain of My Ship. Today, I promised I would talk about the effects of fight divorce for children. Because I already told you that a fight divorce is not something you want to have. No one wants to end up in a fight divorce. No one wants it. I already gave you tips what you can do to prevent. I really hope it helps you to prevent a fight divorce. And with this episode, I like to uh, dive a little bit deeper into the consequences of for children. This can be consequences for children in a fight divorce. It doesn't have to be. I mean, every child is different, every parent is different, every situation is different. That's a fact. So it doesn't mean that this all has to happen. You don't have to panic at all. This is just things that can come when you go through a fight divorce. And of course, there's always help available. So just know that those things can happen. And if you see those things happening with your child, know that there is help. And you don't have to do it alone when something like this happens. But for now, of course, first a fight divorce. For children, it's like if they grow up in an area where there's war. It's awful for children. We already know it's awful for us, but also for children, especially for children. They don't choose for a fight divorce at all, or even a divorce. They don't choose for it. So it's hard for children. And of course, the children, whatever divorce you go through, a kind of normal divorce or a fight divorce, children will grow up always. The question is, how do they grow up? And what are the consequences for later generations? Because those children will become adults one day. And those adults will have their own children one day, probably. And what's the effect for their children? Well, there are a lot of researches going on, of course, on the effects of divorce for children, and there are some things we already know for long term what effects it can have for children. It can be effect can be they don't grow out of it. They carry the consequences for a lifetime. It can be, if there's no help, or they may also transfer the consequences to their own children. These things are all possible. So what effect does it have on the development of children, a fight divorce? This leads to changes in the stress system of a child. And because of the changes in the stress system of a child, this leads to irreversible changes in the child's stress system, and it has a big effect on the brains, because they are growing, and it's getting in their system. And because of this, the children can get serious social, emotional, or mental health problems, like concentration problems, or school problems with bad grades, or tensions in contact with students or teachers. It can have a negative self-image and low self-esteem. When your child has this, we all know it starts when you have this feeling that the actions are not helping you move forward. So it's just the actions are poor too. So just know that low self-esteem and negative self-image is quite dangerous for a child that is growing up. So this is not what you want at all. So please find help for your child. It can also cause a weaker relationship with parents. With both parents, it can get weaker. Or it can get problems in relationship with friends. Before the divorce, it was just good with other children, and now all of a sudden it has problems in the relationship with friends, with old friends, with new friends, and this can happen. Or the stress regulation, mental health problems like depression and fear. It's more likely that children can get that. The other one can be behavioral problems such as aggressive behavior and criminal behavior. And the last one can be a lower level of education. So all those effects are things that can happen in the life of a child with a fight divorce. I know no one chooses this, but I want you to be aware of this so you can look at your children and see what effect it has on your children, so you can find the help that your child needs in a situation. Because you're the parent and you can help your child move forward, and this is what a child needs. You can help your child the best or in a very positive way if you look after yourself, because when you look after yourself, you can deal with the emotions you have to deal too so much better, and you can look at in a better way from a distance, and that also helps. So look after yourself very well. This is important during a divorce. It's hard to do, but please do. It's really helping you and your children and the partner you want to have a divorce with to move forward quicker when you look after yourself. So please do that. And the next episode I will talk about another effect of loyalty for children, loyalty crisis, parentification, and parental alienation syndrome, because it can also have this effect. And I just want to talk about this with you so you can recognize it with your children. And I like to motivate you to look at your own situation as captain of your ship. What can you do to prevent this divorce, to get into a fight divorce? What can you do? And I know that you have everything inside of you to, in the end, just complete this, and you can move on with your life. You have everything you need already inside of you. Everything is already available. So please use this. You are so much stronger, and I know that you can do this. And my heart is with you and your family. And know that you're strong. Know that you can do this. And you are not alone. Find help from everyone around you that can help you in this situation. All right, this is it for today. I don't want to make it longer than 10 minutes, and I'm in my time, so I'm happy. I hope this really helps you, this really motivates you. And this is it for this week. Next week, Tuesday, I'll be live on I Captain of My Ship Instagram, and I will post another episode on Thursday. Okay, that's it. Enjoy your week and talk to you next week. Bye bye.